My second episode of my podcast, The Weird Sports Show, and it's hosted by me, Nick Fouts. And for this episode today, we're going to go into the Atlanta Hawks Magic City theme night on March 16th versus the Orlando Magic. The planned night, named after the famous strip club in Atlanta. And just kind of dive into the cancellation, the process of the idea of having, a strip club like promoted by a NBA team, and the fan reactions, and as well as the NBA reactions. Let's dive in. So the Hawks were playing for this theme night against the Orlando Magic on March 16th. That was 2 days ago, and the Atlanta Hawks ended up beating the Orlando Magic 124 to 112, and it was a great atmosphere, and people were very excited. But we're gonna go before that and kind of figure out the process of what happened. So for most people, when they think of a famous strip club in the United States, a lot, at least sports fans, go to Magic City in Atlanta, just because a lot of NBA players have been gone viral being there, or maybe not even gone viral being there, but especially the lemon pepper Lou incident with Lou Williams. When Lou Williams was in the NBA bubble, he ended up stopping by Magic City, and it was a big controversy, and it got all very crazy. And I mean, he goes there so much that they have a chicken wings named after him, lemon pepper wings. So you can't blame the guy, but at the same time, it was during the NBA bubble. That was a very controversial thing for a lot of people, and it was a little ridiculous. So that's at least how a lot of younger people got introduced to it. And Atlanta Hawks called it a cultural institution. So the plan was to include specifically the club's lemon pepper wings with exclusive merchandise, and had music performances planned, like T.I., and just celebrating the club and the cultural themes, the cultural significance to Atlanta of the club, and it got canceled by Adam Silver on March 9th, and there was a lot of backlash from. There's some backlash from NBA players, as well as just some NBA sports personalities, and there was some pressure, and people were very surprised when the Atlanta Hawks announced this, just because this has never been done. It was unprecedented, and when with Atlanta and this specific club, they have a very special relationship. The owner he produced a docu-series on the club, and what it means for Atlanta. So Jamie Gertz, the primary owner, he produced a docu-series on it. So he was very invested, and it seemed genuinely actually like a good idea. I was surprised. I thought it was funny just because of the merchandise and people walking around with that. I thought, and especially the lemon pepper wings, I've heard are very good, and a lot of people have talked about that, whether it's in mainstream media or not, how they've just been, they're one of the best, it's some of the best food, and there's people that go for the food, not the other aspects of it. Anyway, I digress. But there was players like Luke Cornett and Al Horford that spoke publicly out against this, and I think that added some pressure, especially since Al Horford was formerly an Atlanta Hawk, and also Atlanta they're on a 10-game win streak right now. They're doing really well, and there's a lot of excitement for this night, with a lot of the fans, it seemed like. But the NBA on March 9th announced, and I quote, "While we appreciate the team's perspective and their desire to move forward, we have heard significant concerns from a broad array of league stakeholders, including fans, partners, and employees. I believe canceling this promotion is the right decision for the broader NBA community. Adam Silver stated on March 9th. So my take on it is just it felt harmless, the promotion, but I totally get it. I get both sides, and I think a lot of people get both sides, but I think with that specific club and in Atlanta, they have a very, like, their relationship is pretty intertwined. So I think that was why I thought, oh, this could work, and, it gets the merchandise, people love exclusive merch, so I thought, Atlanta's in the play-in right now. I believe they are the eighth seed, or yeah, eighth seed or seventh seed, and so they're right in the mix, but they're trying to get out of the play-in, and with the playoffs coming up, you have to get some excitement. It's not always easy when you're in the play-in, and it's gonna get better, but it's still March, so they wanted to get some more excitement, and it seemed like a good idea. But yeah, a lot of people don't. A lot of people realize that Magic City has an impact on hip hop and a lot of the culture in Atlanta. So that's why it kind of made sense. And I think it didn't. I think the tough part about it was people were divided because with kids coming in to the games, and it's a Monday night, and the NBA has a pretty young fan base. I don't know how you really explain it to kids, and I think that was one of the tough parts. So the Atlanta Hawks owner, Jamie Kurtz, produced a docuseries on the club, a 5-part docuseries on the club, and what it means to Atlanta with some of the owners of Magic City and others. And he was actually at the game with a Magic City sweatshirt. They didn't have many sweatshirts available, but some people pre-ordered and got them anyway. And some of the merchandise was unofficial and official, but fans were all there, and it was a sellout. So a lot of people were very excited for the game, and not only just because of the theme, but it was a division rival. It added a little extra layer to it and stuff. And the team played well too. And I don't think it has anything to do with that, but it's just the team played well, and then the energy, with that, definitely helped. But anyway, one of the weirdest parts about it is just the fact that you think about it, you're like, why do they do this? Why did they do this? And I think the reason they did it is because Magic City is actually really close in proximity to the arena, but it's also just it's been referenced in hip hop lyrics, and they had T.I. was going to be the halftime show, which he ended up doing anyway, which was great. It was I'm glad they didn't cancel the T.I. performance, because we all know that he's synonymous with Atlanta, so that really helped. And that put a little bit of a Band-Aid on that. But at the same time, I think a lot of fans were bummed and wanted to have lemon pepper wings at an Atlanta Hawks game. It sounds it sounds good to me. Anyway, but yeah, some other fans and a lot of season ticket holders were a little annoyed because they weren't able to get the promotions that they wanted from this. And yeah, they wanted people, they wanted this gear and this special gear. It's making more money for the Atlanta Hawks too, so it helps them a lot. Anyway, so some fans there was also another perspective. A lot of fans, a season ticket holder who's been a season ticket holder for over 60 years, said, "I personally think they should have never done it. I'm here today with my grandson who just turned 15 years old." So some fans weren't really happy with the promotion in the first place, especially ones with younger kids, and they didn't really know how to explain what Magic City was to their kids. And I completely understand. That's a very difficult topic, and I think the pressure of that, how does that look for an NBA team to be promoting, the club? in hindsight doesn't look great. And then also, yeah, you have younger fans. You don't want to put parents in that difficult position of explaining what it is to them. Now, some people like operate differently with their parenting, but it is what it is. But I think even like the DJ of Magic City, a longtime DJ, Ashton LaRue, he said it's really tough to explain the promotion to younger kids, and he sees both sides, even though that he has been there for a long time. He's like, I don't get that. Like, I don't know how I would talk to my kids about that. So, yeah, and he saw a kid at the Atlanta Hawks, like, store, like the where they get their jerseys and all the gear, like, and they're seeing the gear, like, they're like, what is that? Like, they don't understand. So I totally understand with that. And my take on it is, I feel like they probably should have kept it. But, because, yeah, I think they should have kept it because I think it was a revenue and money-making opportunity that even exceeds, just ticket sales and all that. I think that there's a lot of cool things they could have done with it. And the gear is still out there, but it's just not as much. And I think, with Magic City and, and hip-hop is so important to Atlanta. Like, it's one of the hip-hop capitals of the world and one of the music capitals of the world. Like, the fact that they canceled it, it seemed like it was just a little bit of an overreaction. But at the same time, I get it. Like, I don't know how you explain to your younger audience how Magic City is. Like, I don't know. I can't imagine. I can only imagine, like a little kid going, like, Daddy, what does Magic City mean? And you're like, well, son, I don't know if you ever, how when girls dance, like, I don't know, I can't even do it right now, and this is a terrible podcast, obviously, already. Oh no, here we go. But anyway, the Atlanta Hawks are on a 10-game win streak, and they're hoping to extend it, but this Magic City storyline was pretty weird and got a lot of heat and traction I don't think they were anticipating, and the reaction of like some former players was probably not anticipated, considering they're not even on the Atlanta Hawks as of right now. So that made it a little weird, and it's just one of those stories that you don't really expect. And it's it's March, it's in the playoff push, but you get this like Atlanta strip club storyline, and yeah, that's the NBA for you, where crazy stuff happens, and that's how it is. But anyway, to sign off, that's it for my Weird Sports Show. Thank you for listening, and I hope you guys enjoy March Madness and the rest of this NBA season. And that's it. Goodbye.